WeCake'n. I am WeCake'n. I am your hockey host to my own channel, where I'm going to talk everything hockey. I have a few topics tonight that I wanted to go over. There is excitement that's been going on in the league. Probably the most excitement that happened last week was the excitement that's happening today. Bary Trotz, I almost said owner, general manager of the Nashville Predators, has announced his retirement. Bary Trotz of the Nashville Predators has announced his retirement. Now, he's not done yet. He's still going to be coaching. It sounds like he's going to coach till the end of the season. GM into the end of the season. And then after that, they will figure out another GM so that the franchise can find its direction that it was going to take as the franchise enters the 2026 draft. Really important thing. You got to make sure that, especially when you're getting in some new younger talent, that new GM feels like they're a part of the moves, that the new GM feels like, hey, this is the player that we want. I want to build this team in my vision. I want to build this team to see how this player could possibly collaborate with other players. And unfortunately, I almost said Jim Rutherford. Bary Trotz, he's going to want to take a certain angle. And the part about being a GM is that you don't really want to listen to anybody. Of course, you got your hockey ops, you got your scouts, you got your coach. But ultimately, you're going to make your own decisions. You're going to probably pick your own coach. You're going to pick your own things. There's a lot of things that you're going to try to pick. Like I said, it's all going to be completely brand new. It's going to be a brand new Predators, which is probably what the Predators are looking for. I think, honestly, with Bary Trotz announcing this retirement, I think this. Now he's saying, I'm getting older. I got grandkids now. I haven't really been at the birthdays of my kids. I haven't really taken care of the family that I should, and I'm starting to feel mortal. I'm starting to understand that this isn't going to last forever. Every day that you wake up, you got to celebrate. Every day that you're alive, you have to be grateful for. Every single minute, you got to be grateful for. You hate to say it, but things change too quickly in life, and there's no going back. Permanent. There is no going back. So Trotz is like, you know what? Won a Stanley Cup as the coach of the Washington Capitals. Defeated the Pittsburgh Penguins. And now he's been a general manager for a few seasons. Bary Trotz has really done it all. And it's at the point with Bary Trotz to where I honestly think Bary's just really proud of where he's at. I think Bary is proud of everything that he has produced. I'm pretty sure Bary is feeling that he's accomplished everything that he needs to accomplish. And eventually, you hate to say it, just like any player that plays in the NHL, Bary Trotz he's coming to terms with, hey, we all have an expiration date. Some people play until they are expired. They play until they've squeezed every last bit of potential out of themselves. They may play until they're injured. They may play till an age thing like Trotz, but they might try to squeeze everything out of themselves until they have no gas left. Bary Trotz is pretty much saying, hey, I know this automobile, this classic car I'm driving, this car I've been driving my entire life. I know I've ran up a lot of miles on it. Gas tank is still a lot of gas in it, but the miles in the car, it's starting to get quite experienced, and we might have to take a different direction. So Bary Trotz, I think he's trying to beat it to the punch. He's like, you know what? It's probably just better that I don't deal with the stress. The other way that I look at it is the Predators have been awful. They picked up Marchessault. They picked up Stamkos. They've had O'Reilly. And you hate to say it, especially with players like O'Reilly. It really feels like O'Reilly is going through the exact same things that he went with when he was a Sabre. He gets to the point of where he's like, I don't be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't like this anymore. I'm not having fun. I want to quit. I'm done. I'm I'm done. I'm a professional hockey player, but all I deal with is the stress. All I deal with is stress. I make millions, but I get stress. That's all I get. And then I got other guys coming at me with elbows and whatnot. So that's not fun. So Nashville Predators, right? They've been awful, literally awful this season. You want to know what place that? So in the entire league right now, out of 32 NHL teams, they're in 26th place. Out of 32 teams, 16 teams make the playoffs. 16 teams don't. The Predators were pretty much out of it after the first month. Pretty much after October, the Predators were like, oh, we're pretty far behind. After November, they're like, I'm really far behind. Now, of course, they've had some triumphs in January. Probably their best month that they've played all season. Doesn't mean that they are 54 games played, 25 wins, 23 losses, 56 points. Not going to cut it. Not going to cut it. And if you want to look at their division that they're in, you hate to say it, but they're 5th place. They've really, really pulled themselves out of the muck that they were in November. I mean, they're sitting 5th place in their Central Division. Of course, Colorado Avalanche are in 1st, Minnesota Wild in 2nd, Dallas Stars 3rd, Utah Mammoth 4th, Nashville Predators 5th. Do think it's pretty cool that they kept the prehistoric matchup of the woolly mammoth and the saber-toothed tiger in the same conference. Then you got your Winnipeg Jets in 6th, Chicago Blackhawks in 7th, and St. Louis Blues in 8th place. I didn't think nobody thought the Predators were going to battle back the way that they have. And I guess if you look at the wild card, the Predators are at 56 points. The next team that's in the 2 teams that are in the wild card are the LA Kings. It wasn't the Jets. No, and the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. So the Mighty Ducks and the Kings are both right now 61 points for the Mighty Ducks, 60 points for the Kings. Both of those teams, they got their they're competing. They're competing hard. What's crazy to me that the Sharks have 58 points. So it's getting extremely, extremely tight in the West. Not as tight as it is in the East by any means, but the West, there could still be some competition in the West. And I like to see that. I like to see that the team isn't just giving up. I like to see that there's still competition. I like to see that there's still, I mean, just kind of want like still a little bit of hope. Hey, if you keep trying, it's a possibility. But for the most part, most of the hockey world has pretty much shut the door on the Predators. And it's hard not to blame hockey fans. You see the product on the ice, you see the score on the scoreboard and the Jumbotron, and you see it in your app, you're like, that's not good. So the Nashville Predators, their general manager, Bary Trotz, he is retiring. I think he can just honestly just look at the roadmap and he's like, we got to retool. And I can't be a general manager of a retooling team. There is no benefits for me to be a general manager of a retooling team. I don't kind of like it when Bary Trotz brought up his mortality. If you only have so many years left, right? Especially if it's coming to like health reasons, right? If you feel like you only have so many years left of good health or optimal health, make a decision. It's time to make a decision. And that's the most difficult thing for all of us. It's fun until it's not. We're all having fun until we're not. So for Bary Trotz, you've had a great career. You've done a lot for the NHL. You've done a lot for the teams that you've coached and been a part of. You've done a lot. So I'm grateful to say that Bary Trotz, he's going to go down as a legendary coach. Not a legendary general manager, but a legendary coach for the Washington Capitals for sure. Because he brought them their Stanley Cup. He beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. 3rd try was a charm. Beat them, won the cup. Honestly, it's kind of perfect harmony. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals. Of course, it was Ovechkin versus Crosby for 20. It's been that way for 20 years. And Crosby normally would always get the better of Ovechkin until this last time, where Ovechkin got the better of Crosby. So Ovechkin ended up getting the better of Crosby. Man, Crosby was crying. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Nonetheless, well done, Bary Trotz. And Nashville Predators, you're going to have a lot of work to do. This is not going to be a retool. I can see a full rebuild coming to the Nashville Predators. And if I were the Nashville Predators, I would start it sooner than later. Now, the hard part, though, they traded or paid these players a lot. They tried to stay competitive. They thought they were still competitive. They thought that they still could do it. They thought that the retool was a potential opportunity. It wasn't. Roman Jossi's still talented. Ryan O'Reilly's still talented. Philip Forsberg's still talented. There's a lot of other. Then there's everything else. And everything else is pretty much the reason why that team just can't compete. So Nashville Predators, not going to do a whole nother netcast on you just yet. Bary Trotz, you will be missed. Bary Trotz, you will be missed. Now, outdoor game. Earlier in this year for my netcast, we spoke about the outdoor game between the Florida Panthers. Gosh, I don't even remember who their opponent was. It was against the Florida. Oh, was it Ottawa Senators? Man, I'm already forgetting. The Florida Panthers had it was the New York Rangers. New York Rangers, and so they've won their 6th straight new outside game. So the New York Rangers have won every outdoor game they've been in, 6 outdoor games. Florida Panthers, of course, back-to-back Stanley Cup championship, whatever you want to say. Wow. They gave them this game. They got thrashed. I think it was like 5-1 or 5-2 by the end of the hockey game. I think it was 5-1. Rangers destroyed them. Mika Zibanejad, of course, got the first hat trick in Winter Classic history. We had another outdoor game. This time it was the Tampa Bay Lightning, so another Florida team, against the Boston Bruins. And I hate to say it, is that this outdoor game had a lot less flair and was done perfectly. Stadium Series game is that Tim McGraw ended up singing. I don't think that was really important, but it happened. But this game, it was a 5-5 game. The Tampa Bay Lightning scored within the first 11 seconds. Now, if you are Armdog, I don't remember his first name, but it's not Colby Armstrong or something like it. However, Mr. Armdog, he's got this, like, what do you want to say, this record, where he scored 21 seconds into the Winter Classic game when he was on the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he was so proud of himself. He's like, this is a record. It's going to sit forever. Well, at least for maybe the Winter Classic, it might sit for an extremely long period of time. I believe there are more Stadium Series games than there are Winter Classics. There's just one Winter Classic a season. So, Lightning score in the first 11 seconds, right? After the Lightning score in the first 11 seconds, you want to know what happens after that? The Bruins end up scoring 3 goals straight. So Hagel scores the first goal, assisted by Kucherov and Radish. Hagel's 26th of the season. That was 11 seconds in, like I said. Then the Tampa Bay Lightning, towards the last 5 minutes of that period, just started slamming goals in. They just started depositing goals. They're depositing goals. Steves, with his 9th goal of the season, scores at 11:24 with an assist from Yzma. Geeky, with his 31st of the season, scores a goal with 15:36, so about 5 minutes left to go in that period. Assisted by McAvoy and Apricot. Aspero? Must be Aspero. And then Victor Arvidsson gets his 14th goal of the season, assisted by McAvoy and Geeky. All in the first period. It's all Bruins. After one. Second period, you got Poitras. Poitras gets his first goal of the season, assisted by Kastelik. If you're going to score your first goal of the season, why not have it be a popular game where all eyes are on you. And for Poitras, it's only a second game played for this season, so not only are you playing in an outdoor game, but you get a tally. You show up for your team. Wonderful. The team's got to be really happy to see that level of performance. So continuing the second period, Geeky, his 32nd goal of the season, continuing his amazing campaign, assist by Pasternak and Kushnadinov. It's 5-1. And that was 8:18 into the second period. So what that means is the Bruins are up 5-1, and we still have 30 minutes of hockey to play. That is turning out to be one of the most dangerous positions in hockey, because when you go up that much, you might not keep your foot on the gas. You might not be trying as hard to score. Why would you? You're up 5-1. And there's also a gentleman's rule, which I think is really effing stupid, to where they're like, oh, we're up by a lot of goals. We're going to quit scoring so we don't make you feel bad. We want you to still feel engaged. We don't want to embarrass you. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Shove as many goals down their throats as you possibly can. I want to see every player on your team with 50 goals. Every player on your team with 50 goals. I want to see that. Show me it. Show me that. I want to see a dominant team that just doesn't care. Oh, you're down? That's too bad. We're gonna prove to you why we're the best team. And when you're sitting there just staring with a blank look on your face, like, I don't know what's going on, well, you figure it out. Learn. Draft better. Scout better. Hire better. I would like to see that more in hockey. So it's 5-1, right? Second period. Lightning's turn. Bjorkstrand, his 8th of the season, power play goal with 10:28 into the period, assisted by Hagel and Gensel. That's 2. Another power play goal from Radish and assisted by Kucherov and Hagel with 16th of the season. Power play goal, 15:50 into the period. 5 minutes left to go in the second period. No more than 40 seconds later, Nick Paul. Power play goal. 3 back-to-back-to-back power play goals. Only it's his 6th of the season, so that sucks for him. Gensel with his 33rd of the season, and Kucherov with his 58th assist of the season. 58th assist of the season. 58th assist of the season for Kucherov. It's 4-5. 1 period left of hockey in this outdoor game. Only 1 goal in the third period. Kucherov, 28th goal of the season. Assisted by McDonough, his 5th point. And Cernak, his 6th point. So, Lightning were just blasting goals. They were just blasting goals, and they did not want to lose this game. Kucherov scores 11 minutes into the third period, tying the game up. It's a 5-5 hockey game now, folks. That was it for regulation. We go into an overtime, 3-on-3 overtime, 5 minutes. There was excitement. No goal. No goal was scored, which means we then go into a shootout. A shootout where it looks like Jake Gensel scored the winning goal. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning. You came back from a 1-5 deficit. You stayed in the game, you locked in, and you didn't tell yourself that you weren't going to do it. You told yourself that, hey, I'm going to lock in, I'm going to accomplish this task, I'm going to get these racks, and I'm going to make sure I get to where I want to be. That is what they were able to accomplish. And I'm very, very proud to see that a team didn't just give up. Normally what you see in these outdoor games is a team start to lose, and then, like I said in the first Netcast about the outdoor games, the team just quits. The team that's losing just quits. They're like, it's cold out. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go inside. This isn't fun anymore. I'm done. These teams kept battling. This was an outdoor game. I don't know if they have to play these games in southern states to where there is some sort of warmth. I don't know how they're going to do it. I honestly just don't get it. I don't get what these teams are going to do. I don't get what the NHL is going to do. I don't get what the league is going to do. But when it comes to these outdoor games, they're fun and there's a lot of potential with them. However, I think it's honestly because of the fact that the theatrics can, I feel like, take away too much from the hockey game. That's when we get into the problems. That's when we start to get into the conversations of do we need to should these things continue to exist? Do we need to have more? Should we keep it to one a year? You want to maintain the mysticism, you want to maintain the magic of these games, but at the same time, you don't want to take away the magic from these games. So that is a second thing we're going to talk about. Oh, no, 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 no. We got to talk about one more thing. Goalie fight. There was a goalie fight in this game. Yup. Andrei Vasilevsky ended up fighting Jeremy Swayman. Jeremy Swayman and Andrei Vasilevsky, two amazing goaltenders. Andrei Vasilevsky, of course, he's an S-tier goaltender, 2 back-to-back cups that he's won. Andrei Vasilevsky, I mean, wow. Andrei Vasilevsky, really cool. I mean, it was so cool to watch him just skate down the ice because about a week ago, Bobrovsky fought. Bobrovsky, who did he fight? Who did the Panthers? Was it the Jets? No. It was the Sharks. It was Nedeljkovic. Bobrovsky ended up fighting Nedeljkovic. And and apparently the announcers were saying, hey, this hasn't happened in 5 years. It's been about 5, 6 years since a goalie fight. We got one, but we just didn't get one. We got another one recently. We got to see. We were blessed with the goalie fight between Vasilevsky and Swayman. It lasted like 30 seconds, but Vasilevsky got like 4 punches in, took Swayman down, and that was it. 30-second fight, but that's all it took to heat up both the teams, heat up the fans. You got the crowd going. That's all we wanted. We just wanted a gladiator match on ice. It's all we could ask for. And that is what we were given. And it was really, really great to see. I was really happy to see it. Proceeding with our news, we spoke about the Lightning's epic comeback. We spoke about Bary Trotz. Now, here's 2 other things that I wanted to go over today. First thing I wanted to go over today was the fact of, oh my gosh, and I don't know about everybody else, if you're going to be traded, if you're going to be used for a trade, I'm talking to you, Artemi Panarin, you don't sit out for 2 weeks. You're sitting out for 2 weeks and you're going to sit out for the entire Olympics because Russia no one wants to Russia chooses to start wars, so no one wants to do anything with Russia. Sorry, Russia. No one cares what you can create because when you start wars, no one wants to be around you. Anyways, moving on from that, Artemi Panarin. All-star on the Rangers. Obviously, the Rangers season has been awful. It has been awful. It has been embarrassing, and the entire team is kind of sick of it. So Chris Drury, their GM, made this social media. You saw me roll my eyes. A social media post, wrote a letter to the fans, pretty much saying, "Hey fans, guess what? Our season is bad. Our team is bad. It's been getting worse. So retool, not rebuild, but retool. We're not doing a full rebuild. We're going to do a retool. So not doing a rebuild because a rebuild is a scary word. You say the word rebuild and all of your shareholders, all of your fans, they're like, oh, so we're not going to watch your team for the next 5 years. Click. And then you start losing a disgusting amount of revenue. A disgusting amount of revenue. And that's a weird thing. I mean, if a team is rebuilding, you would pray or you'd hope that that team would like, oh, rebuild, we're going to cut our ticket prices. We'll make it more affordable for the everyday fan. Nope. Well, maybe. We're going to have more watch parties. We're going to get youth more involved. No, they don't do any of that. They don't do any of that. Nope. They don't do that. They're just like, so how do we move on from this? That's legitimately what the conversations are like. And sometimes teams enter endless rebuilds. Look at the Buffalo Sabres. They've been in a rebuild for 14 years, retool for 6. Now it's looking like with this latest general manager switch, the Buffalo Sabres look like they could possibly be a playoff team. They got to believe in themselves, but they also need positive management around them. They need intelligent management. They need management that's going to support the team and support what they need to win. And we'll see if it happens. We'll see if that is something that's going to happen with the Rangers. But honestly, I think it's a disgrace to the sport. I think it's a disgrace when, in my personal opinion, it's a disgrace when you hold a player out that could be playing. That is not a good look for the sport. It's not a good look for that franchise. It's not a good look for that club. So Artemi Panarin, you need to get traded before this whole Olympics thing starts. You need to be on an NHL team that isn't the New York Rangers, because I said they're getting rid of you. So you got to move. You got to move. We spoke about Artemi Panarin. A couple other small things I wanted to go over today in today's Netcast. Obviously, you got those Olympics right around the corner. So if you're an Olympic fan, that's going to be exciting. Now, unfortunately, there's been a lot of players that have recently gotten injured that said, oh, I can't play for the Olympics anymore. So sad to say, there's so many players that had a lot of fantastic eligibility that not only are going to have to sit on the sidelines for probably the entire Olympics, because that's the other thing too with the Olympic roster. I think they have like a backup roster, and I think once you're out, like they already have like a backup roster, which is just less talented players that aren't playing. I think that's what it's got to be. That's what it has to be. So you're pretty much just crossed off the list. So he's not coming back. Not coming back. Minnesota Wild are open to trading their young, talented goalie, Jesper Wallstedt. And so they're kind of starting to dangle him, saying, hey, you guys want to trade? Who wants a young goalie with upcoming potential? They're marketing off Wallstedt right now, and honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about that. He's got a .913 save percentage of the season. And at this point, after that Quinn Hughes trade, the Wild, who knows what they're going to do. At this point, you can tell that the team is greedy, or the team is like, you know what? We feel like we're close. We feel like we can accomplish this. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to push, 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 push. We feel like we're there. We're going to keep pushing. So Minnesota Wild could be not only a playoff team, but a Stanley Cup contender with the amount of players they're considering adding to their franchise. The Wild already had a blockbuster trade for Quinn Hughes. The Wild is looking for they're looking for a center. We got to see who's eligible. We got to see who are some of those players that are considering being a player that's willing to move, a player that you look at some of these teams that are struggling, like, hey, maybe this team isn't, they miss the playoffs, or maybe they're kind of in that weird retool where like, hey, maybe having this player move on to this other franchise, maybe this is for the better of all of us. So Minnesota Wild, they're in a unique spot right now where, hey, do we keep our young goaltender or do we go all in? Do we play a Vegas Golden Knights? Do we go all in? Who knows? That's something that we're going to have to see from the Minnesota Wild. However, everybody, we spoke about a lot. We spoke about Bary Trotz, the general manager of the Nashville Predators, announcing his retirement from, it seems like, the sport of hockey. We spoke about the outdoor game, the Stadium Series matchup with the Tampa Bay Lightning hosting against the Boston Bruins, where the game ended in a overtime shootout thriller, a fantastic pop-off event where there was a goalie fight. Amazing event. Amazing event. We spoke a little bit how I feel that the New York Rangers are holding Artemi Panarin out of competition. Not only NHL competition, well, the Olympics is holding Russia out of the competition, but pretty much saying, hey, you're not going to get settled. You're not going to find your new team. You're not going to go move. You're not going to do any of this. When he could have literally a month to move, relocate, and get all situated with this new team. Nope. They're going to be like, you know what? We're going to just, because there's a roster freeze, so I don't think any trades are allowed or any roster movements is allowed once this starts. So once this starts, I think that you're going to enter this point to where there's no turning back. And this is the roster that you have, and this is what you're going to deal with. And then, of course, we spoke about the Minnesota Wild just so slightly, about, hey, they got an all-star goalie. Are they going to keep him or are they going to move on from him? And do you create additional problems for your team where, hey, maybe Gus Gustafsson gets hurt and now you're like, well, now we don't have a goalie. That's another thing you need to consider. If your number one gets hurt, if Gus Gustafsson gets hurt, what do you do? What do you do? Because that, I can tell you, you're not going to want your team to be that fragile. You're not going to want your team to say, hey, this one player gets hurt and everyone pack it up. One player gets hurt, our goalie, and the entire other team is just invalidated. All right, viewers, this has been another lengthy Netcast, but we're not going anywhere. I hope everyone can enjoy the pack opening as we continue to participate in our hobby of opening packs. I am WeCake'n. Thank you for showing up for another Netcast. If you have any topics that you want me to cover at the next Netcast, there's a comment section below. Or you can always message me on X. I'd be more than happy for you to comment and talk hockey with me. If you want to support me, there's a subscribe button, there's a like button, there's a follow button, and I hope to see I start to get a little bit more of a follower base so I can continue to talk hockey with all these fantastic hockey fans. I really appreciate everybody being here from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for watching. I am WeCake'n, your favorite hockey personality, and I can't wait to see everybody at the next Netcast and the next live stream. We'll see you soon, everyone. Today's episode was sweet. See you soon. All right, everyone, WeCake'n. At the end of this Netcast, we're going to open up this pack of Ice 2023-2024 as we continue to participate in the hobby. All right, everyone, let's see what we get. Hopefully, what if we get a jet? That'd be pretty cool. What if we get a really cool jet? That'd be even flyer. Get it? That's fine. Now, Ice is actually my favorite set. It was my first set. It's my first. I think it's a really cool set. Ah, we got a decoy missile. Andre Vasilevsky. Tage Thompson. Jake Sanderson. He's not worried to speak of. Ice premieres. Dmitry Volnikov. 9 out of 9. 9. 9. Ooh, that's pretty neat. So we got a pretty cool hit, everyone, and it's clear. Big ol' stud. Green, Jeremy Swayman. See how long that lasts. Green, Jeremy Swayman. And our rookie, Jet Reeves of the Columbus Blue Jackets. We got 2 Blue Jackets. No Jets. No Jets in our pack. But we got a green Swayman. And we got this very, very unique Dmitry Volnikov. 9 out of 999. All right, everybody. Thanks for enjoying the hobby with me. I hope you'll enjoy the netcast. We'll catch you soon.